Okay, so today, or previously in class, you learned about factoring, and over here on the left we have our steps to how do we factor a problem. So we're going to go through these steps to factor the example 6x squared plus 15x plus 6. Okay, so the first thing that you would have to do is it says, step 1, find a GCF, or greatest common factor. So you look at each term, as it says, each term, and you think, well, what number goes into every single term we have listed there? And when I look at this, I have a 6, a 15, a 6, and I see that the greatest common factor that goes into every single one of those terms is the number 3. So if I take the greatest common factor 3, and I divide that by every term, I would be left with 2x squared, because 6 divided by 3 is 2, plus, and 15 divided by 3 is 5x, plus, and then 6 divided by 3 again is 2. So the first step that I did is you want to go through and you want to figure out what the greatest common factor is, and then divide it out. The second question you ask yourself is, do you have a quadratic trinomial? So again, quadratic means that you have an exponent squared. Trinomial means that you have 1, 2, 3 terms, and yes, we do. It says if a equals 1. Well, in our case, a does not equal 1, a equals 2. So if a does not equal 1, find two numbers that multiply to AC. Okay, so if I look at this, a times c is 2 times 2, so that's 4. And what I want to do is I want to write out all the factors of 4. So 1 and 4 and 2 times 2. And then I want it to add, as it says, add to b. So if I make this a positive 1 and a positive 4, that would add to 5. So my next step then is to, as it says, write it out. So I have 3, and then I would have x plus 1 times x plus 4. Now clearly if I FOIL those out, I don't have a 2x, so that's why it says, then put each number over a. So that means that I would go back through and I would have x plus 1 over 2, and I would have x plus 4 over 2. So I did the then part. It says, if possible, simplify. So x plus 1/2, I cannot simplify 1/2 any farther, but I can simplify 4 divided by 2 to just the number 2. Okay, and then it says, if otherwise, bottoms up. So bottom means your denominator. So in our case, we would have the 3 still up front. The bottom was a 2, so that means bring the bottom up front. So 2x plus 1, and then you would have x plus 2. So my final factored answer for this problem should be what I have written here. 3 times 2x plus 1 times the quantity x plus 2. To verify, every time that you do these, you should be able to verify that you did it correctly. You should be able to FOIL it out. So I'm going to first just FOIL out the inside part. So 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times, so first outer, so then I get plus 4x, then I have the inner, and I have the last. So I have 3 times 2x squared plus 5x plus 2, and then if I distribute, I have 6x squared plus 15x plus 6. And since this matches my original question, I know that I have factored completely. So make sure that you go through each step and again follow all the directions under here if you have a quadratic trinomial as you're going through.